Okay.
Hello and welcome to Adam and Craig Do Stuff. We finally have more polar bears in the UK, so we're doing Theif Wildlife Park.
Show me light, show me love, make a change, time is up. We can wait for better days, but the days won't come. Show me light, show me love, this is all we got. Show me light, show me love, this is all we got. Show me love.
Our very first time coming to Theif Wildlife Park, so it's always really good to visit somewhere new for the first time and see somewhere fresh. It is a relatively small park, but what brings us here today is they've just become the second park in the UK to have polar bear. In England, sorry, not England. Yeah, because
Scotland furious.
Scotland have got someone. So they've just become the second park in England to gain polar bear, with Yorkshire Wildlife Park being the only one currently that had them before this. So
we don't really know where they are.
We don't know where they are
We
because,
don't really know
as
the
we
map
say,
of the
we've
park.
never been here before. But
they're on that sign pointing in this vague direction, so we're going to try and find them.
But also here, there are quite a few walk-through enclosures, which is pretty cool. I'm really excited for a red squirrel walk-through enclosure.
That's
something
really cool.
never
That's
seen
really
before.
cool.
And red squirrels are so cute, so cute. But we're going to come to that later. But first, we're going to try and find these polar bears.
Now, obviously, the standard is pretty high because the enclosure at Yorkshire is stunning. Like, it's huge. They've got four? Well, they've got two enclosures over there, haven't they? Really?
Yeah, they have. They've got Project Polar 1, Project Polar 2, haven't they? Yeah.
So, and they've probably got 6 polar bears across there?
I think they have
6 or 7
now.
because I know
Maybe 7. They've got 4 in the main, and then they had
They had 3 in the other one.
3 in the other,
I know
yeah.
one died, and I can't remember whether it got replaced or not.
I think it did. I can see some zebras.
But it's a stunning enclosure, as all of them are at Yorkshire Wildlife Park. So there's quite a high standard for them to meet for this to be a decent polar bear enclosure. But we've never been here. We've never seen what they normally do. So
no,
we'll come in with open eyes. We'll see.
So they've got 3 here, 3 polar bears. They've got a mother called Hope, and then she's got 2 cubs, 2 male cubs called, what are they called, Craig?
I thought you'd memorise this.
I did.
Nori and
yes,
Nat?
that's
They both
it.
begin with N. I know
they
that
both
much.
begin with N. Yeah.
We'll put them down at the bottom. We'll see.
But they're both about 19 to 20 months old. So
And
not.
I think they're here.
Yeah, I think we found them. So we've managed to find them. There we go. I can see the 3.
Here they are.
There's
These
one.
white block. No, you've moved it. You've moved
Have
it.
I?
Yeah. No, go back. Go back.
There.
They're here. Look.
Oh yeah, I see them. There's
There
one
we
in
go.
the water, and then two just walking around the water.
Hard to tell at this stage which of the cubs
Yeah,
and
which
which
one's
of the
cubs?
mother.
Well, the 2 that aren't in the water, they about the same size, so I reckon they're the cubs.
Yeah.
I reckon the one in the water is the mum.
You can't really tell the size of the one in the water in the minute, can you?
No.
Kind of reminds me, it's kind of akin to sort of Project Polar 2, this bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even just the walkway that you come up. It's the same kind of idea as Yorkshire, where you've got the path is raised above the fence to the enclosure, so you can see over, so you get good views. And just sort of like all of the water and everything is very similar to what they've done at Yorkshire, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a big pool, isn't it? Really, quite a big pool. And they've got the rocky cave thing. The
cave.
Yeah, cave.
It's just a cave.
Reminds me a little bit of the ones that they have at Yorkshire Wildlife as well.
And they've got more. They've got building going on down the bottom there, and they've got building by the side. So I don't know whether that's expansion or whether it's going to be different enclosures or what's going on down there. And they came from a Swedish zoo, didn't they?
They did. They came from Sweden. The Swedish zoo that's closing down. Yeah.
So they saved them, obviously, because all the animals had to go somewhere because the zoo was closing down. So they've come across here, which is lovely. So we've actually just realised around the corner they've got a whole other second enclosure, which
really
is
big,
linked. So with most zoos, they'll have like more than one section. They can separate them if they need to. So they've actually, all in all, got a huge area.
Yeah, really big area. So if you just look behind me, this here, where are we? That is where they are at the minute, and then behind this wooden bit is like a walkway for them that gets into here.
Another huge pool of water, another little cave for them to sit in.
Lots of rockery for them to climb on, and some fallen trees, and
then I don't know exactly where their land sort of ends, but there's lots of unused land around them, isn't there?
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Yeah, really nice
size area.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll probably be nice in the sun.
Yeah, it's so cold today. I don't know what's
I cannot
happening this summer.
believe how cold it is for August. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's a lovely enclosure. And I would say it's probably on par with what Yorkshire have built, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And there's not many zoos or wildlife parks in the UK that can say that, because they are phenomenal with their enclosures out in the Yorkshire.
They
really do give so much space and so much open view of the animals as well, and this is probably the closest I've seen to that in any zoo or wildlife park in the UK. Really nice, really nice. So I think we might have to go for a bit of a coffee to warm us up, to be quite honest. But after that we'll go
explore the rest of the park.
Park. You can buy wallaby food as well. So we bought some wallaby food.
Because we see lots of zoos. I mean, pretty much every zoo with wallabies usually have a wallaby walkthrough. But this is the first place we've seen where you can buy wallaby food. So that's cool. We're going to
bought some. Of course we have.
And
we'll go feed the wallabies later. So stay tuned for that.
So we just stopped off for an absolutely beautiful chocolate orange brownie. It was stunning, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Robin's had to steal mine.
Attenzione, pickpocket!
It was joined by a robin, a very brazen robin, a cute little robin. It was quite a young one because it still had its fledgling spots. But where are we headed now, Craig?
We are off to the Red Squirrel walkthrough. So it's going to be like being up north.
Yeah.
Hopefully, with it being a zoo, they might be a little more brazen. They might be a little less skittish, and they might come out. But we'll see, because this is an interesting thing, isn't it? Because obviously, the purpose of zoos is to conserve numbers of endangered species, and no one really ever speaks about the animals that are endangered in this country.
No.
Probably because not many people really care about them, but they should.
We do.
Red squirrels are absolutely beautiful.
They are beautiful. We saw them in 2018 when we went to Centre Parks in Winfell Forest, and it was amazing to see in the wild.
They're easily just as cute as the grey squirrels, and they need to be preserved because they're a beautiful animal native to this country, and we deserve to have them.
I love it here in this red squirrel walkthrough. It's so cool, isn't it? It's quite
beautiful and tranquil.
it really is.
Not really been anyone else in here. Oh, we're going dark as we go through this beautiful tunnel of trees. There's been hardly anyone in here, so it's really nice and tranquil.
It is, yeah.
They've got 3 red squirrel here. I kind of thought there'd be more, to be quite honest, but they've got 3, what they call conker, acorn, and little red.
I've seen 2 of them.
So another benefit of being in your own is you get a chance to speak to keepers, which you don't when there's huge crowds. Oh, I can't get through this bloody door. They're speedy little buggers, aren't they?
They are very, very fast.
Very challenging to film,
yeah.
but we didn't do too bad. Again,
No.
when there's not many people there, they're a bit more open to coming out and running around in front of you. So we did get some good views of them.
We did. And the keeper in there was very nice and friendly and chatty and informative. Told us all the names.
I think he said they were all male. So obviously there's no sort of breeding programme going on at the moment. But it would be an absolute travesty to lose red squirrel in this country. So I'm glad that there are zoos out there that do have red squirrel, and I just hope that eventually they manage to get the numbers up.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember what zoo it is, but some zoo in the UK have just released some Scottish wildcat back into the wild. Just found some tape here. Oop, there it is.
Nice enclosure. And I know there are some zoos with red squirrel, and I know Dudley, I think, has got them.
Yeah, Dudley has
Blackpool
them.
got some?
I don't think Blackpool does, but
Oh,
I
maybe
know
make it out
Birmingham
then.
Nature Centre
Has got some as well.
has got some. Yeah.
Nice to have a walk through though, because
Yeah.
really that's how they should be enjoyed,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like you're in the
'Cause
woods.
At the one at Dudley, we've never seen the red squirrel in their enclosure.
No, they're really.
It's sort of like an aviary that you just look into.
They seem a lot more skittish than the grey squirrel, don't they? I mean, we've been to get out the rain. We've been up around Lake District, haven't we, where you get native red squirrels.
And we saw them there. We went to Centre Parks up there.
And they definitely are more skittish than the grey squirrel are. But they're absolutely beautiful.
They are
absolutely
so
beautiful.
fluffy and red.
I know there's been programmes introduced to sterilise the grey squirrel as well, haven't there, to try and get their numbers down.
To help increase the reds.
Yeah, to try and get the reds up, because greys are becoming a bit of a pest now. Even though they are cute.
They are cute,
a
and it's not
pest.
their fault that they was introduced here.
No,
So.
humans
Yeah.
ruin everything.
Oh, we're in the Wallaby walkthrough now, which is nice. There's quite a few different paths to take in here. It's quite a big Wallaby walkthrough as well, actually. And we did the hand feeding of the wallabies, which is cool. If you've ever done the goat feeding at West Midlands Safari Park, the pellets look similar to that.
So you don't get mugged as much, do you?
No,
I mean,
no.
Get absolutely ransacked by the goats at West Midlands, don't you? Whereas here they're a lot more shy
Yeah.
than the goats.
And they say to attract the wallaby, you have to get down on your knee and just be patient with your hand out for them.
Yeah, it's quite sad really, because they've got like if you've ever been to the one at Yorkshire, it's similar to this, but they've got fences around so that
You've got like ropes
to sort of discourage people from coming off the path. Whereas here people aren't quite that respectful, are they? And they're sort of getting right up to the wallabies and crowding around them and sort of invading their personal space, whereas the grass really should be their own space, shouldn't it? But you can, I don't really know what exactly the rules are. We sort of went on and approached the albino one, didn't we? It was called Bambino, I think.
Albino, yeah. And was told she was blind, bless her. She was
yeah,
very gentle.
Keeper said she's blind, and she's usually quite skittish, and she doesn't normally like hand feeding. But we managed to hand feed, didn't we?
But she did say that we was very gentle with
there
her.
you go,
So
Wallaby whisperers. Yeah, because a lot of the kids just sort of run up and throw food at them, which
because we
obviously
came in
is not
here quite earlier on, and it was absolutely bedlam in here. It was busy, so we decided
yeah.
to just exit and come back later on.
But yeah, if you're quiet and respectful of them, they're really
Patient.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. But yeah, they will come up and they'll eat out your hand, which is lovely. It's a lovely thing to do.
Yeah.
Of course, in the morning it's probably a bit better because as it gets towards the afternoon, they're a bit fed up.
Yeah, probably had lots to eat.
Yeah.
And they've got a hand washing facility as soon as you leave, which we needed to do because our hands was
they're a bit
full
spitty.
of
They're a little bit spitty.
It was full of wallaby saliva.
Not quite on the level of a giraffe, but they are a little bit spitty. It's absolutely chucking it down.
Yeah, it's absolutely chucking
all
down.
day
It's been on
today.
and off all day. I mean, it's better than what it predicted. It predicted to be like this from 11 onwards. It's been on and off. So a few times we've had to like find cover.
Which we should probably go do before we blow the microphone.
Yeah. We're just coming to a bird hide now to escape the rain because it is absolutely chucking it down now. They've got quite a few bird hides here. There's 3, this is one of 3 that we've seen, and they really do try and promote local wildlife here, which is nice to see. Seen quite a few native animals here, lots of bees, wasps, and well, wasps aren't nice.
Especially around by the polar bears.
Yeah, by the polar bears. Seen lots of different birds. And this particular bird hide has got a really nice view. So there's like a lake behind us, which you can't really see because it's too bright, but it's got a nice view of the Peak District behind it, which is nice to sit and escape the rain. They've also got this teepee area in the picnic area, which is good because you can go there and eat your sandwiches, well, or whatever you bring with you. But we was worried about having soggy sandwiches, but the teepee was there for us to eat our dinner under.
Our new friend Gertie. Hello Gertie. Say hello to YouTube. Say subscribe to Adam and Craig Do Stuff. She's a bit camera shy, but she's very nice. Right, we're going to go look for some penguins now. We're in the penguin walkthrough enclosure, and from what I can think of, I think we've only ever been in one other zoo that have a penguin walkthrough enclosure, and that was Longleat. I'm sure Chesington at one point used to have penguins that used to walk along the path. Yeah, they sort of used to come, but they haven't done that for a long time.
Many years.
Twycross do get them out and let them walk around that sort of circle in the middle, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, Longleat's the only one where I remember they actually have a penguin walkthrough where they come onto the path. But they do have it here. Oh, the penguins, they're not on the path, but they're very, very close.
Very close to the path. It's a bit crowded over there, but
and it's a very big penguin enclosure as well.
It's
You
really
can
big.
come down and see them under the water. You can obviously come through the walk-through, and they've also got a raised bit as well where you can sort of look over. It's a really, really nice penguin enclosure. And in fact, they've got a big hill as well where they can walk up, and they come right up to where the covered walkway is as well.
Penguins! Look how close we are to the penguins. This is amazing. They can get under the rope, but they're not at the minute.
Close enough to almost close enough to tickle them under the chin. Well, actually, I probably could. I'm not going to.
No, because I imagine they'd be quite painful if they pecked you.
How close they are. And they're not particularly bothered by it either, are they?
No, they're not.
I mean, they don't look particularly... Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.
Although it was the polar bears that brought us here, that's what attracted us to the zoo. It's actually a really nice little zoo, this one. There's a lot to offer really that you don't see at other places, like in regards to the amount of walkthroughs enclosures that there are.
A lot of
walkthrough enclosures, and I like how the walkthrough enclosures are like linked to each other. So you go through the goats and then into the lemurs, which are then linked to the wallabies and the penguins.
I don't even know if we even mentioned this. They've got a rabbit walk through here.
They've got a rabbit walk through here, right behind us. We did go through it earlier, which was cool. Giant rabbits.
They've also got a great selection of mixed exhibits as well, because like the goats have their own enclosure, but there's also goats in with the lemurs.
With the lemurs, yeah.
There's Mara in with the penguin. We haven't seen. Well, we saw one. But not whilst we were actually in the enclosure. But the Maori are in with the penguin.
And also being able to feed the wallabies, that was really cool, wasn't it? Really cool, being able to feed the wallabies.
I do think there needs to be more rules in there because it's a bit hectic, and I do feel sorry for the wallabies a bit sometimes. But it is nice to be able to go and feed them. And some of them, in fact, one that we just went back into the wallabies. And one of them was really quite brazen with us. It came straight up to us, and it was trying to sniff our hands to see if we had food, but we haven't got any anymore.
But then he happily let us give it a little pet.
But then it was a lot quieter. Well, we were the only people in there at that point, and the wallabies, whereas before a lot of them were sort of hiding in the huts, and there's sort of like a little roped off bit where you can't get in. At this point, a lot more of them were out, so I think they were just sort of a bit happier that there weren't as many people in there, and it seemed a lot more confident, didn't it, to come up to us than they did before. But yeah, it's a lovely little park.
It is, a really nice little zoo. One that I definitely would like to come to again sometime. I think now that they've got the polar bears, it'll probably get more popular because although it is one that I knew of, it's not one that I really heard
because it's not a huge park, is
no,
it?
It is a really small park. And
I mean, we were speaking to one of the keepers. We do know that there are more plans.
Yeah, but
we don't know what.
He said it's secret. He said it's a secret at the minute. No
matter how much we twisted his fingers.
And that's one thing as well. Like the staff here are really nice. Like the ones that have spoke to us have always been really,
you always
really
find
friendly.
That with zookeepers, though, don't you?
Yeah, that's
very
true,
different to other types of attractions. But we'll say no more about that. The staff here are really good, really knowledgeable. And it's a really nice park. The polar bear enclosure, as we said earlier, is really, really nice and almost on par with what Yorkshire are offering. And all of the enclosures here, actually, you've got good views of pretty much everything, I think. I don't think there's anything where I thought, not a very good view of this.
No, and the enclosures are really big, aren't they, as well? Like they have a lot of nice space for the animals,
and good to have walkthroughs as well. Walkthroughs are always a big bonus. I mean, wallabies you often get walkthroughs of.
And lemurs.
Lemurs you often get walkthroughs of. A good walkthrough here, though, they were quite active, weren't they? Sometimes lemurs are a bit, you never know. You go to some and the lemurs are everywhere, and then you go to other ones like West Midlands, it's often quite hard to see the lemurs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is there actually, yeah.
So it depends, but the lemurs here are quite easy to see.
And I love that they had the red squirrel walk through as well. That's so cool.
Penguins, we're quite you get a good view of the penguins.
Yeah, you really get a good view of the penguins. And again, that's something that you don't see often, is a penguin walk through. So that was cool.
But yeah, it's a really nice little park. I imagine it's going to get a lot of attention now that it's got the polar bears here. And it's well worth a visit. I would definitely get yourself down here.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a fantastic day. It's a really nice park.
Really nice park. Now, coming up, we have got Warwick Castle. Got Warwick Castle. Dragon Slayer, yeah, we've been wanting to do that
for years.
Years, yeah, and we never have.
For whatever reason, we've never done it. But we booked tickets this year, and we're very excited. It looks like an amazing show.
The very start of September, we are going to Fantasyland for the first time, so that'll be really exciting. So,
and we also have Halloween at Portaventura coming up in September
end
as
of
well.
September.
So it's going to be a very exciting autumn, and then of course Halloween season really isn't that far away now, and you know we love a good scare.
Don't keep my too long.
So do drop us a like and a comment if you've enjoyed this video. Get yourself down to Peak Wildlife Park, and we will see you next time we do stuff.